Hi, good day. I am Alliana ADEA, and here we are to discuss methodology. Let us first discuss the origin of methodology. Early 19th century, from modern Latin word methodologia or French word methodology, a body of methods, rules, and postulates employed by a discipline, a particular procedure or set of procedures. Demonstrating library research methodology, the issue is massive revision of teaching methodology. Methodology includes the following. Number 1, research design. The function of a research design is to ensure that the evidence obtained enables you to effectively address the research problem logically and as unambiguously as possible. In social science research, obtaining information relevant to the research problem generally entails specifying the type of evidence needed to test the theory, to evaluate a program, or to accurately describe and assess meaning related to an observable phenomenon. With this in mind, a common mistake by the researcher is that they begin their investigation far too early, before they have thought critically about what information is required to address the research problem, without attending to this design issue beforehand. The overall research problem will not be adequately addressed, and any conclusions drawn will run the risk of being weak and unconvincing. As a consequence, the overall validity of the study will be undermined. The length and complexity and describing research design in your paper can vary considerably, but any well-developed description will achieve the following. Number 1, identify the research problem clearly and justify its selections, particularly in relation to any valid alternative design that could have been used. Number 2, review synthesis. Previously published literature associated with the research problem. Number 3, clearly and explicitly specify hypothesis central to the problem. Number 4, effectively describe the information and or the data which will be necessary for an adequate testing of the hypothesis, and explain how such information or data will be obtained, and describe the methods of analysis to be applied to the data in determining whether or not the hypotheses are true or false. The methodology also includes sample size. When you survey a large population of respondents, you're interested in the entire group. But it's not realistically possible to get answer or result from absolutely everyone. So you take a random sample of individuals which represent the population as a whole. The size of the sample is very important for getting accurate, statistically significant result and running your study successfully. If your sample is too small, you may include a disproportionate number of individuals which are outliers and anomalies. This skew the result and you don't get a fair picture of the whole population. If the sample is too big, the whole study becomes complex. expensive and time-consuming to run. And although the results are more accurate, the benefits don't outweigh the cost. If you've already worked out your variables, you can get to the right sample size quickly with the outline sample size calculator. Next is sampling design and techniques. There are several different sampling techniques available, and they can be subdivided into two groups: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. In probability, random sampling, you start with a complete sampling frame of all eligible individuals from which you select your sample. In this way, all eligible individuals have a chance of being chosen for the sample, and you will be more able to generalize the result from your study. Probability sampling methods to tend be more time-consuming and expensive than non-probability sampling. In non-probability, non-random sampling, you do not start with a complete sampling frame. So, some individuals have no chance of being selected. Consequently, you cannot estimate the effect of sampling or error, and there is a significant risk of ending up with a non-representative sample which produce a non-generalizable result. However, the non-probability sampling methods tend to be cheaper and more convenient, and they are useful for exploratory research and hypothesis generation. Number 4, subject/target population. In cost-effective analysis, characteristic of the target population and any subgroup should be described clearly. The choice of characteristic depends on the medical literature and practices, the objectives of the study, and contextual information. Identifying the target population or product used to condition are usually integral part of the product development process. As such, this information is typically defined during the product conceptualization process. It is important to determine target consumers in order to identify candidates who will be used to evaluate product safety. Number 5, a tool used to collect, measure, and analyze data related to your research interests. These tools are most commonly used in health science, social science, and education to assess patient clients, students, teachers, staffs, etc. A research instrument can include interviews, tests, surveys, or checklists. The research instrument is usually determined by a researcher and is tied to the study of methodology. This document offers some example of research instrument and study methods. Choosing research instrument. Number 1, select a subject. Number 2, form a thesis statement. Number 3, choose the type of analysis. Number 4, conduct research and write a literature review. Number 5, make a list of potential studies. Question. Number 6, create a subject and fine-tune your thesis. Number 7, choose a research technique and an instrument. Number 8, before instruments can be developed, concepts must be operationalized. Number 9, make a data collection strategy. Number 10, run a pilot study. Number 11, obtain information. Number 12, prepare the data so that it may be processed and analyzed. Number 13, process and analysis of data. Number 14, inference and data interpretation. Number 15, finish the research paper. Number 16, data should be made public.
Types of research instruments. Surveys. What is survey? A survey is a type of research that involves gathering data from a predetermined group of people in order to get knowledge and insights about the variety issue. Validation of instruments. Validation is the process of acquiring and analyzing data to assess the accuracy of an instrument. Data processing method. The method of collecting raw data and converting it into usable information is known as data processing. The raw data is gathered, filtered, sorted, processed, analyzed, and stored before being displayed in a readable format. Data processing and research consist of 5 important steps. 1. Modification of data. 2. Encoding of data. 3. Data categorization. 4. Tabulation of data. And the last one is charts and graphs of data. Data processing. It is a series of activities or procedures performed on data to validate, organize, convert, integrate, and extract data into an appropriate output form from subsequent use. Processing procedures must be clearly documented to ensure the utility and integrity of the data. Information system statistically. Data collection began refers to the use of a statistical approach to a data set in order to turn it from a collection of meaningless numbers into usable output. The statistical treatment of data entails the application of statistical procedures such as mean, mode, median, regression, conditional probability, sampling, standard deviation, and distribution range. Statistical analysis not only allows us to identify trends, but it also allows us to organize and manage our data in the first place. This is because while doing statistical analysis on our data, it is sometimes more helpful to produce multiple discoveries for each subgroup within our population than a single, more general conclusion per whole population. Statistical tools. For doing basic statistical analysis on experimental data, a variety of tools are available. A. Given a collection of data points. B. F. Critical value. C. Nested models. D. 2 treatment groups. The following are the top 7 ways to make study results shine. SPSS by IBM. In human behavior research, IBM SPSS is likely the most extensively used statistics software program. 2. R Foundation for Statistical Computing. This is a publicly downloadable statistical software application that is widely used in human behavior research and other fields. MATLAB. Among engineers and scientists, MATLAB is a prominent analytical platform and programming language. Microsoft Excel. While MS Excel is not a cutting-edge statistical analysis tools, it does offer a wide variety of features for data visualization and basic statistics. SAS or Statistical Analysis Software. It is a statistical analysis platform that allows users to conduct more complicated investigations by using graphical user interface or by writing scripts. It is a sophisticated system that often used in business, healthcare, and behavioral study. GraphPad Prism. Prism by GraphPad is a premium software that is often used in biological statistics, but it also has a wide variety of characteristics that may be applied in other disciplines. Minitab. Minitab is a data analysis of program that includes a variety of basic and intermediate statistical methods.
Lesson 4. Market Research Development and its Executive Summary. Executive Summary. An executive summary provides an overview of a larger document or research and is usually the first thing your reader will see. Oftentimes, executive summaries are the only place decision makers will going to determine if actions is warranted on a particular action or idea. Executive summaries will analyze a problem, conclude, and recommend a course of action in a complete but brief synopsis. It must make a positive first impression on a reader of your business plan by clearly explaining the nature of the company and if you are seeking finance, the type of cash you require. Here, you should answer all of the important questions about your circumstances clearly and concisely. A. Your executive summary should be concise and businesslike, spanning from half a page to 1 page depending on the complexity of the business or the amount of money used, and should include the following key points: your business, its product, and industry it serves, and its competitive advantage. Letter B. The legal form of your company, such as sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or limited liability company, the date it was founded, the principal owners, and key personnel. Letter C. Anything remarkable such as patents, prototypes, crucial contracts for product innovation, or test marketing results qualifies as a major accomplishment. Letter D. If you're looking for funding, make sure to include the amount and kind of credit, the payment schedule, the borrower's equity component, and the debt to equity ratio after the loan, security, or collateral is granted. And letter E, the current market value expected worth, or price quotations for any equipment that you own. Define the sector to which the company, brand, product line corresponds. Number 1. Market size. This component of your marketing plan should go through your company's sector. Number 2. Market competitive shares. A table that illustrates the sales and market shares of all trademarks in the product category. Number 3. Marketing objectives. A set of objectives set by a company while advertising its product or services to potential customers must be met within a certain time frame. A. Sales in unit and peso. A sales forecast is A sales forecast is a vital tool for every organization of any size. It is a month-by-month prediction of your expected sales. The majority of organizations create a sales projection once a year. Letter B. Gross profit. A firm's gross profit is its earnings before operational expenditures, interest payments, and taxes. Gross profit is sometimes referred as gross margin. Letter C. Market share. The share of the market of the corporation is the percentage of total revenues generated in an industry that it produces. Market shares is calculated by dividing the company's sale for the period by the total sales of the industry for the same time period.
Good day everyone, I'm RINA MEDINA and I'll be discuss the continuation of the lesson 4. 4. Target market. A specific group of consumers at which a company aims its products and services. Your target consumers are those who are most likely to buy from you. Avoid the desire to broaden your scope in order to obtain a better picture of the market. That's the same as firing 10 bullets in different directions rather than aiming for the target's dead center, expensive and dangerous. Audience to be targeted. Your target audience is the set of individuals who are most likely to desire your product or service and as a result should notice your advertising efforts. Age, gender, industry, location, interest, and a variety of other criteria can all influence who your target. Examples of a target audience. The target audience is a defined set of individuals. Men, women, youth, and children are all possible candidates. Advertisers might use personnel to research appropriate magazine titles or industry publications. Target population. The target demographic must be chosen and agreed upon before research can begin. The whole population or group that a researcher is interested in examining and analyzing is referred to as the target population. Example, target population. Example, in target population, you need to separate according the ages of men. Here is the table of the example of target population. Questionnaire. The questionnaire is devised by Sir Francis Galton, a method of collecting data from respondents that comprises of a sequence of questions and other prompts aimed to extract information from them. They are typically designed for statistical analysis of responses, although this isn't always the case. Structured questionnaire offers advantages over other forms of surveys in that are less expensive and do not need as much work from the questionnaire. Such uniform responses, on the other hand, may irritate consumers. Questionnaires are severely constrained by the requirement that respondents be able to read and reply to the questions. Test interview. Businesses frequently utilize a selection and recruiting exam to measure the abilities of potential workers. It is a pre-qualification or pre-employment exam used by companies to determine if an applicant should be considered for an interview or hired. Skills tested. Intelligence, abilities, and personality tests are used to evaluate a candidate's aptitude and personality. Employers may want to evaluate an applicant's overall skill set or their chance of landing a specific job. Rating scale. A grading system is a set of categories used to gather information about the quantitative or qualitative quality of something. In the social science, the Likert scale and 1 to 10 rating scales are common examples, in which a person selects a number that is considered to reflect the perceived quality of a product. Types of rating scales. All summative assessments may be categorized into one of three types. Number 1. An ordinal scales was used for some of the measurements. The relative location of an object is represented by numbers, but not the amount of change. One example is a Likert scale. Responses for customer service are really flexible and may be used to assess a wide range of emotions, including agreement, satisfaction, frequency, and desirability. Response options is like strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. Some data is gathered at regular intervals. Although there is no exact 0 point, numbers are used to describe the degree of difference between objects. 2. On a ratio basis, several measures are done. Numbers represent the magnitude of the difference, and there is a peak 0 point. Ratios can be worked out. Some examples are age, income, price, expenses, sales revenue, sales volume, and market share. Validation of a data collection instrument. In psychology, research is essential to evaluate if a particular treatment is effective and whether our current understanding of human behavior is right. As a result, the instruments used to evaluate study data must be accurate and defendable. If they aren't, the information gained from a study is likely to bias or inaccurate, inflicting more harm than good. Letter A. Maintain internal consistency. The behavior or result that a researcher seeks to analyze in a study is known as a construct, and it is typically revealed by the independent variable. As a result, it's vital to define or operationalize the notion exactly. For example, if you're researching depression and you'll do is count how many times a person tears, your construct is worthless and your findings will be compromised. Number 6, strategies. Strategy planning is a powerful tool for helping you achieve your business goals by outlining the strategies and tactics you'll need to use within your company. Your company's strategy also guides many of your organizational choices, such as hiring new employees. A strategic plan and analysis is a description of the activities and decisions that a firm intends to take. A business plan describes what the organization must do to achieve its objectives. Developing a business plan can help influence recruiting and resource allocation decisions, according to Ernst and Young. Business models must include the following elements. Letter A. Planning. B. Strengths and weaknesses. C. Efficiency. Letter D. Control. E. Competitive advantage. Planning is a business approach that assists you in identifying the critical measures to take in order to achieve your business objectives. B. Strengths and weaknesses. The process of developing a business plan helps you to discover and assess your company's strengths and weaknesses in order to develop a strategy that capitalizes on your strengths while compensating for or eliminating your deficiencies. Efficiency. A company plan enables you to properly allocate resources for your business activities, making you more efficient. It also allows you to for prepare ahead of time for deadlines, assign work tasks, and keep on track with your project goals. Letter D, control. Developing a business plan offers you more control over the types of actions that will directly assist you attain your goals, as well as the ability to readily analyze if your activities are moving you closer to your goals. E. Competitive advantages. By developing a clear strategy for achieving your objectives, you can concentrate on capitalizing on your strengths and leveraging them as a competitive advantage that distinguishes your organizations in the marketplace. Number 7, marketing program and program objectives. A marketing strategies, tactical advertising, and promotion operations are at its core. It entails a wide range of approaches to be employed in order to achieve the defined objectives and goals. Marketing activities are specific marketing actions described in the marketing strategy and entail the use of marketing mix elements to achieve the marketing strategy's goals.
My name is Karl Vincent FALLARIA, and my report is about the external organization analysis. What is external organization analysis? External analysis, also called environmental analysis, is the process by which businesses objectively assess the change made to their industry and broader world that could affect their current business operation. Companies to do this ensure they can adapt to change and continue to succeed within an industry. External analysis. The first one is describe the industry in narrative style. A marker evaluation tool meant to provide a firm sense of complexity of a certain sector. And number two, sector segmentation specify how the industry is divided. Describe how the industry is divided into segments. A. Describe how the industry is divided into segments. B. It is a method of classifying industrial and company clients in order to influence strategic and tactical decision making, particularly in sales and marketing. So there's a four stages of the product life cycle. The first one is introduction. The introduction stage is most likely the most critical in the PLC in the reality. The majority of the goods fail to accomplish so at the introduction stage. And the next one is growth. If you are fortunate enough to get your product through the introduction stage, you will go to this level. The growth stage is when your product begins to expand. At this time, a lot of money is spent in advertising. And the third one is the maturity. What is the maturity? The maturity stage is the third stage of the product life cycles. If your product successfully completes the introduction and growth phases, it will spend a significant amount of time in the maturity stage. And the last one is decline. This is the point at which your product sales begin to decline. Either everyone who wants to has purchased your product or newer, more innovative items has been developed to replace it. Environmental scan. What is environmental scan? Environmental scanning is described as the study and analysis of political, economic, social, and technical events and trends that affect a corporation and an industry or event the whole market. First bullet is political and legal consideration. The next bullet is economic consideration, and the last is socio-cultural aspect. And the last one is technological aspect. Number two, consumer or customer analysis along the lines of a consumer profile. It is described based on segmentation characteristic. A consumer profile is a method of categorizing consumer so that they may be grouped for marketing and advertising reason. Letter B, consumer segmentation. Customer describe the customer based on the segmentation.
Segmentation of consumer. Demographic. A. Traits relating to age, city, or household size, gender, ethnic background, and family composition. B. Socio-economic. C. Factors related household income, educational achieve, employment, locality, and association membership. D. Product use brand affinity. E. On the basis of their behavior, attributes correlate with product presentation. F. Psychographics. G. Social networking tools with a person, lifestyle, life stage, character, attitude, opinions, and even routing behavior. H. Geographic qualities related to the geographic area in which consumer live and work. I. Desired benefits. I. Companies' success with the rewards that customers seek while shopping for items and service. Segmentation foundation. A frequent grouping approach in the market research sector in base an individual's professional work function, such as a person independent as the head of household or the primary source of income for a family. Geographic segment characteristics. People in many places of the world exhibit varying features. Geographic segmentation is a marketing approach that divides the target market into categories based on aspects such as economics, dietary preference, dress patterns, language, cultures, and many other characteristics. A. Age, gender, income, ethnic origin, and family life cycle. Customer preferences. Company's success or failure can be determined by consumer desire for a product. If customers have a taste for certain product.
To Module 2, Lesson 6, Key Success Factors. Key success factors, also known as competitive emphasis or strategic posture, state the important elements required for a company to compete in its target markets. In effect, it articulates what the company must do and do well to achieve the goals outlined in its strategic plan. Examples would include agility, reliability, diversity, and emotional connection with clients. The decisions the management team makes about key success factors directly addresses competitive forces, factors in the marketplace that can reduce profits, set direction for the behavioral expectations of the employees, inform the knowledge, skill, and behavioral requirements for a company to succeed, and lastly, to provide the decision-making boundaries for execution plans including organizational structure, sourcing, manufacturing, marketing and sales, tools, technologies, and etc. Key success elements can be applied in 4 ways. As a required component of an information system, as a distinguishing feature of a business, as a thinking sharpening heuristic for managers, and as a summary of the primary talents and resources necessary to succeed in a certain market. the business. Examples from the industry include demand factors, technology utilized, product qualities, and so on. This can also have an impact on all rivals within an industry, although their impact varies depending on the features and sensitivities of various industry sectors. Competitive strategy and position in the industry. This is in relation to the company in question, which is decided by its history and competitive place in the industry. Environmental aspects. These are macroeconomic elements that impact all competitors within an industry and over which the competitors have little or no influence, such as demography, economic and government legislative policies, and so on. Factors of time. These are the variables within a firm that are producing a time-limited disruption in the implementation of a specified plan, such as lack of management competence or skilled personnel. Position in management. The many functional managerial jobs in a corporation each have their own general set of related important success elements, which is a good illustration of a managerial position.